Thanks for coming and listening to the Everything Avatar podcast. We are your hosts, Dan Harris and
Aaron Pinkham.
This is the podcast on everything Avatar, and we are glad you're joining us.
This is where we are going to talk about basically everything Avatar related as in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Not Avatar, the big screen movie. The premise for this podcast is that we're going to look at each episode from two different points of view. One being me, a 40-something-year-old dad that has zero experience at all with anything Avatar or the Avatar world, versus my niece Erin, who
has been watching Avatar since I was 5, and it's my favorite show.
All right, so Erin is basically the goddess of Avatar. I think of her as my Wikipedia when it comes to Avatar. And we decided we were going to do a podcast on this. If you've already listened to our first episode, we kind of covered episodes 1 and 2 in that first episode just to break the ground. We're basically going to call this our episode 3, the Southern Air Temple, which is the name of the episode, which was episode 3 as well. All right, basically we're going to pick up where we left off in the last episode, where our three main characters, Aang, Katara, and Sokka, are all heading north towards the next water tribe, but they're going to take some detours on their way.
So first they're going to the Southern Air Temple, which is there are 4 air temples, and the Southern Air Temple is where Aang grew up. That's where he learned airbending, you know. And so he wants to take him to like his home and show him everything and see if there's any airbenders there.
So basically he hasn't been there in over 100 years, right?
Yeah.
So
well, it's 100 years.
Well, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
now you said there's 4 of them. So am I thinking this right? There's a south, a north, an east, and a west?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, that's cool. And then that's the case for, we think, because we don't know all the airbending tribes. Or not airbending, but all the tribes, the different bending tribes. So we would think there's a north and south, east, west water tribe, north, south, east, west fire tribe, north, south, east, west earth tribe. And then the airbending, we know at this point they're all gone. There is no tribes left.
Yeah, but the temples are still there, and you'll actually get to visit all 4 of them throughout the show. So,
okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they're heading to Aang's home now. Which temple is this?
The southern,
the Southern Air Temple. So this is on their journey as they're going to head towards the North Water Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of on their journey. They're on their way, and right away we see Zuko again, and he runs into Commander Zhao.
Zhao.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is his uncle, we find out. He's basically a grown man as part of the Fire Tribe.
Well, he's not Zuko's...
No, he's not his uncle.
Uncle. He's a commander of, like, in the Fire Nation. And so, like, they'll run into each other a lot. But, like, Zuko has already known Zhao because, like, he's, like, a high official in the Fire Nation. And so...
Right. But I'm sorry. What I was getting confused is this is where we find out that his uncle was a retired general.
Yes.
Tribe. So Zhao still shows a lot of respect to the uncle, but at the same time, he's like, whatever, this is a young kid and I'm better. Mm-hmm. And we basically find out that Zuko's father is alive and he's also a general in the Fire Tribe.
Well, his like father is, he's the Fire Lord of Fire Nation. And so, because like Zuko's the prince, so his dad, which you won't see his face actually for a really long time, but you will hear more about him and learn a lot more about his dad later on. But yeah, his dad is the Fire Lord, and so Zuko's like the prince. That's why like Ira always calls him Prince Zuko, because he is
the next in line, right? So you could tell from here that there's a lot of animosity between Zuko and Zhao, and this is going to lead to something later in the episode. But then we flash back over to our 3, I'm going to say 3 heroes per se, as they're reaching the air temple, which is empty, or at least so it seems. And all of a sudden we start to see flashbacks. And now through this episode, there's a lot of flashbacks. Do you see a lot of flashbacks? It sounds like throughout the whole series.
Well, they definitely go back and do flashbacks, and episode 12 is pretty much complete flashbacks. There's a little bit of other things going on, but it's complete flashbacks. But yeah, they go back and a lot of things, and you'll, like, in this episode, you do learn Avatar Roku was the avatar before, like, Aang, so, like, you'll get to see Roku's story at one point. Then you'll learn still about some of the other avatars even before Roku, and Aang's backstory, and Zuko's, and Sokka and Katara's a little bit, and stuff.
All right, so we get to see decent amount of flashbacks, but these are the first main ones that we've seen. Mm-hmm. Aang speaks of the temple, and again, it's a temple, so it's old ancient buildings. And you see flashbacks where there's a lot of monks that are around. Then there's lemurs, which are flying monkeys, and then of course the bison, which we know can fly as well.
Yes.
So, but the whole airbending, flying is a big part of that. Yeah,
they have, like, you've seen Aang with his, like, glider and stuff, and so, like, in the flashbacks you see him, like, with his teacher, which is Monk Gyatso, and that's, like, who taught him everything about airbending and everything, and pretty much, like, his mentor / like, parent.
Yeah. So this is where we find out that Aang is 12, so that he's really 112.
Yes.
We also find out that he did know he was the last avatar, or the next avatar in line.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that however, he was told early that most avatars don't find out until they're 16, but for whatever reason, we don't know yet. He was told early, at an earlier age than most.
You will get to, once again, episode 12 is, like, a really good episode, and you learn a lot of backstory. It's about, like, Aang and Zuko's backstory, so they'll talk a little bit about why they told him early.
Okay. All right. So, again, everybody, you got to come back listen to our episode 12 review. Mm-hmm. Aang finds out that the firebenders killed everyone and kind of loses it. And this kind of ignites or starts his avatar spirit, right?
Yeah, it's called the Avatar State.
Avatar State.
Once again, I said this in the last one, you will learn about, like, pretty much everything you need to know about the Avatar State in episode 8. And honestly, I would say episode 8 is when we really get the premise of the show, like, what they need to do here. Like, we know the war's going on, we know Aang has to learn all the elements, but you'll get to really see what has to go down when we get to episode 8.
So, in this, though, when he ignites the Avatar State and starts it up, we see that this makes all the other temples realize that the Avatar has returned.
Yes. So
now it's not just a matter of Zuko and Katara and Sokka knowing that, you know, the Avatar has returned, but now all the temples that are still active will know that, hey, there is another Avatar and he's back.
Yeah. And, like, the reason that the Fire Nation killed the airbenders, which they said in the beginning of the first episode, is they knew that the next avatar was going to be into the air temple, so they wanted to, like, kill the avatar, so that's why they wiped out the air temples.
So basically, are the firebenders, they just want the power and they want the source. So what we do find out is that avatars change, like you said in the last episode that we did, that when one dies, then the next gets reincarnated into the next tribe.
Yes. So you right at the intro of the show goes water, earth, fire, air. So that's the avatar cycle. So the avatar after Aang is a water. It comes from, like, the water tribe. So then the one before Aang came from the Fire Nation, which was Roku, which you saw, like, his statue, and how, like, even though there was no name on it, Aang knew who it was because, like, I guess they kind of know things about their past lives without knowing them. It's never really explained, but, like, they can know some things like that, the Avatar.
Okay. All right. So it almost seems like the idea that the Fire Nation wants to take out the Avatar, and then they're going to go probably to the water and find who the Avatar is and take that one out, and then go to Earth and take that one out. So then the fire Avatar can be back in power again. That's the kind of idea that I'm getting from this, or seeing where it seems to be going. But we'll see. We'll see as it goes along. Don't tell me yes or no on that one.
Okay.
I won't be spoiling that. And then probably the other biggest thing in this episode is they do find there's one lemur left.
Yes.
And they kind of take him on as a pet, even though Sokka wants to eat him.
Yes.
Sokka, because
it will become a theme with
hungry food.
Yes. Sokka loves food, and it'll become like pretty much a theme. And he always talks about food. He loves food. I'm
kind of liking Sokka. That's kind of a guy after my own heart there. But they find his lemur and they name him Momo.
Momo, yep.
Momo. And so now he's another pet, compatriot, whatever you want to say, on this journey that's going to be going along with Appa and Aang, Katara, and Sokka.
Yeah.
So now we have four characters kind of to follow and watch as we go along. Mm-hmm. So this kind of has you now. You're in a rhythm, like you said. Those first 2 episodes that we did in our last podcast episode that we covered in episodes 1 and 2 did kind of lay the groundwork, the foundation for everything. Got us so we kind of know what's going on and everybody. And now this one is starting now with this journey and kind of taking us along, and it's kind of helping us learn to like these characters more and understand these characters more. And at the same time, it's exposing us to the airbending and Avatar world.
Yeah, and a really cool thing about season 1 is, even though there's, like I said, there's a lot of filler episodes, they're going to take you to a ton of different places, so you really get to, like, experience and, like, see the world.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was all about that. Now, in this episode, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Zuko knock Zhang's head?
Zhao.
Zhao's head.
So they have something called an Agni Kai, which will come back later, and I'm not going to say anything because it's like a really cool part of the series and spoilers, but Agni Kai is a fire duel, so it's between 2 firebenders. And so like Zuko pretty much challenges Zhao to one, and they also give you a little bit of a hint to something you'll learn about Zuko, and like Ara goes, you know what happened last time you duel the master and stuff, and you'll learn what happened once again in episode 12. But yeah, he doesn't hit him in the head because he hits him like right next to with fire, so like Zuko still beat him in the duel, but like he told Zhao at that point, if you get in my way again next time, I won't hesitate.
Right. So again, being the guy that knows nothing and doesn't know what's going to happen, and don't spoil me, don't tell me if I'm correct or wrong, my guess that I'm going to make at this point is that's how Zuko got his scar. Because if you look, the way it looks like he was hit across the eye, across the face, and it kind of sweeps across the face. So I'm assuming that's how when they beat one another, they leave their mark on one another. And we'll figure out then how Zuko got his scar. This is just my guess. We'll see where it plays out. Like you said, was it episode 8?
Episode 12 is when you learn Aang and Zuko's like backstory and see.
So we'll see where that leads to, but that's my guess at this point. I would say my favorite part of this point, to this point, was the whole thing with Sokka and him trying to eat the lemur, wanting to eat the lemur, and then when he finally gets food and he's just gorging himself. I found that one pretty funny. Do you have a favorite moment from this episode that you liked?
Favorite moment?
I mean, granted, I get it. You've seen all the episodes hundreds of times.
Yes.
So it all kind of blends together from you, but I just didn't know if there was anything in this episode per se.
This is a really good episode to like learn a lot about Aang and where he comes from and stuff.
Sure.
And it's definitely a sad one too, because when they go into the air temple, like Aang has to face that they are killed, because pretty much at this point they were like, he was pretty much trying to deny it, just saying like they're smart, I'm sure people just haven't seen them, and he was just like trying to deny it. And like when they go and like he finds that Monkiatsu skeleton, like that's really sad for Aang, because like that was like his person he really cared about in the world, and like he's gone. But like I like them finding Momo because I love Momo, so that would probably be my favorite part of the episode.
All right, cool, good to know. All right, well, that finishes this episode of Everything Avatar. Please join us again next week as we discuss episode 4. If you want to contact us, reach out, please do so. Please pass the word of this podcast to your friends and followers that you have. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Trying Dan. Aaron, where can they find and reach out to you if they want to?
They can find me on my YouTube channel, Aaron Pinkham, where I post Dance Moms videos, and you can find me on my Instagram, AirBear34.
All right, until next time, I'm Dan Harris.
And I'm Aaron Pinkham, and thanks again for listening to the Everything Avatar podcast. See you all next time.
See ya.